Hey YouTube, Diesel Dan back again. Finishing up on the 2015 CXU. I want to do a final walk around and show you some of the things I found. A couple little heads up, stuff like that. I want to address one particular engine code, and it was diagnosed incorrectly. I don't know where the ball was dropped, but I will give you as much information that I know about it and how I found it and why I did what I did. Like I said, this truck had a lot of issues before. The turbo was giving me some trouble. Turned out the EGR cooler was leaking, and this truck runs pretty hard. It is an older truck, so I did want to make it kind of bulletproof. So did go a little crazy, updated the fan hub on it, as you can see in there. When I did check the boost system, the air charger was leaking. That's been replaced. You can see the new 7th injector. The block heater was actually burnt on the exhaust, so that wasn't working. So I knocked out a lot of stuff while I was here, and I just want to show you. I had the DPF apart, clean, service that, and go around to the driver's side here. I did road test it yesterday. I do want to double check my fluids, take a good long road test today, make sure everything's good to go with this before I give it back to the driver, because he runs pretty hard and I probably won't see him again for a while. So over here is the codes. This is the majority of the codes I had when the truck got here. The truck was away. I have the truck up on the screen now. I only have these codes. I had the key off and on a couple times, but you can see 2015 CXU, truck 524, mileage and hours. Got pretty good mileage on, almost 600,000. But these codes here, engine exhaust, EGR, differential pressure, all this good stuff. I did replace the EGR valve. It was crudded up, didn't look like it was operating properly. The code here, the engine fuel injection quality error for multiple cylinders. This one threw a lot of guys off. This was at another location, and I don't want to throw the guy under the bus, but his background is more trailers than tractors, so I don't really blame him for not knowing, because he just didn't have the experience. But this was sent to a dealer. They put an injector in it, and I think a month or two later the code didn't go away, so they sent it to another dealer and they put another injector in it and didn't fix it. So I'll get into what I found on that. But reading that it's engine fuel injection quality, you would assume it was a fuel injection problem, and it wasn't. It had nothing to do with the fuel. As you know, a diesel needs fuel and air to run, plus compression. The problem was the air, the fresh air coming into the engine, was the issue with this one. And I found it by pulling the boost / temp sensor in the back of the intake here, and found it all crudded up. And a little backstory with me: in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, I worked for a Detroit dealer, and with the Series 60s when the EGRs first came out, and warranty had us clean all the piping work out whenever you did an EGR repair. That was standard procedure. Then as the year or so went on, it started to get expensive. Warranty was trying to cut corners. They had to stop doing it. We still did it. You know, we were doing the jobs efficiently enough where we can do it, and it was still being time limit. But I still do that practice to today. I know a lot of guys will look at me like I'm crazy. I worked at one job and they thought I was wasting my time. But I put everything back clean. I want to know everything's clean. This intake was probably one of the dirtiest ones I've ever seen. I had to clean this about 3-4 times with heavy degreaser before I actually saw the aluminum on the inside of the intake. It was that bad. I had to clean all the ports, intake ports on the cylinder head. It was pretty bad because the EGR core was leaking coolant, sooting up all the soot, getting it all moist and cruddy, and it was just rock hard in there. And unfortunately, the guy that originally looked at this at the other location, he went right down the troubleshooting tree and just started replacing parts. He put the new Delta P on it. He actually broke the clip. That's a whole new story. That was part of the reason why I did a new harness on it. There was multiple reasons why. I had a bunch of clips and stuff broken and rub wires and stuff like that. Same thing with the fan hub. It was repaired once before. It was the old style, you can't even get it anymore, so I updated that. And that's where we got for that. But on the back here, I have some parts. I could try to give you some visuals. This is a cover I replaced on an Anthem, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the Delta P. Differential pressures on the DPF filter. There's the new style filter, sensor. And you will have to get the new hoses because both ports are the same size now. If you still have an original on there, one of these ports will be real skinny, and the little hose you won't be able to get on there, so you will have to get the hose clips with the clamps. So just a heads up there. Here's the doser valve I ended up replacing. I didn't want to originally, but as I was putting the heat shield on, it got away from me and broke the nipple off into the DPF line, which not a big deal. I just put a screw into the fitting into the line and just pulled it right out. But this didn't look that old. I was going to leave it, but unfortunately stuff happens, and I broke the nipple. That's on me. And I said it before in videos, I never seem to get these ends to seal, so I just ordered the 2 new lines. They just bolt up at the frame. But here's the temp/boost sensor in the intake. This is in the back there. It's held on by an 8mm bolt right in the intake. I've seen guys try to remove these. I've had it happen to me once or twice. This bottom part will actually break off into the intake. I've seen guys just knock them in the intake and leave them there. I'm not a big fan of that, but I have seen that done. But this, as you can see, the little diode in there, this was covered solid. This just looked completely covered. You would never even know there was a diode in there. I had to clean this up pretty well, let it soak for a while. But that's how I started digging into this, and that's how I came to the conclusion of my original problem. But that's where we are with this. It is running now. No codes. Did do a park regen yesterday. Soot level was around 51%. So I went ahead and just regen it to make sure it would complete a regen, make sure everything was purged out. What's that code? Let's see if that comes back. But yeah, I want to tick around with it today before I get back to the driver. A few other things I want to check. Top off fluids, go on another road test, and have to finish the PM on it and DOT inspection before I can release it again. Also had to change the air filter sensor there. That was cracked in half. I don't know how that wasn't thrown a code. Just a heads up, if you do replace it and you get the message on your dash immediately, just push the button and reset it. I don't know what happened here, but this was reading as the air filter was full. I just put the reset button, and the notification came off the dash. But yeah, I'm glad to see this out of the shop, get this on the road, making us some money. But that's some of the things and where I came up with some of the stuff. But yeah, I like to clean all this stuff out. As you can see, there's that boost sensor for there. Again, that lock clip was broke. This yellow lock clip was broke off. I had a bunch of issues with the harness. The pipes around the back were rotted. There was a lot of issues I seen over the last couple services, so I knew some of these repairs were coming up, so I ended up just doing them all now. So if you think I just was throwing a bunch of parts at this truck, there's a reason why I did what I did, because I knew there was other stuff that I saw previous that I knew I was going to get to once the truck was out of service. I wasn't expected to be out this long, but due to waiting for the coolant pipes, I really didn't have a choice. I do have a spare set on the shelf now for my next truck, so I can dive right into that and it won't take as long. But yeah, I'll be doing another one soon. I got a couple of trailer services to do this week, and then I'll be back on DPF filters. So maybe I'll post some more videos if I come up with anything interesting and fun that I find. But yeah, just that I just wanted to bring up about that fuel quality code. That threw a lot of guys for a loop. And a lot of times when I see multiple codes like this, I might bring the truck in, copy it, clear them, take it down the road and see which ones pop up first, because some of these are just domino effects from other failures, which will cause other systems to fail. So sometimes you might be chasing down the wrong squirrel holes, so just something to think about. But that's it for this one, wrapping it up. All right, thanks guys, till the next one, see you.